So today we're going to continue with our properties of equality. These properties are true for all real numbers. Segment lengths, angle measures are real numbers, so they're true for segments and angles. So I want to just highlight flexive property, segments, and angles. Then we have the symmetric, if then, and then your transitive, if and then. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing we did with 2-5-day 1 lesson. Come up with an explanation first, and then write a reason. The reason is going to be some kind of definition, property, or postulate or theorem. So the first thing it says you're designing a logo to sell daffodils. Use the information given, determine whether the measure of angle EBA is equal to the measure DBC. Okay, so since I have angles 1 and 3 marked in the diagram, that's given to me. And I have the measure of EBA equals 2 plus 3. Well, we're adding measures of adjacent angles. And if you recall, we did that. That was angle addition. What's happening in the next part, if you take notice, 3 from the previous step is being replaced by 1. So when you replace, we are substituting. So this is a substitution. Property of equality. And then I say angles 1 plus 2 equals measure of DBC. Well, that's the same thing that's going on up here. It's the same thing where I'm adding measures of adjacent angles. When I add measures of adjacent angles, that is angle addition. And now I look and see that I have measure of 1 plus 2 equals both EBA and DBC. And what this really is saying is if I'll just create the statements here. If 1, and this is statement 2, if 1 and 2, then three. I don't have room to write it out, so this is an if-and statement, which is transitive. Sometimes transitive property and substitution get confusing, so I'm not going to be too much if we do get them backwards, or I'll say wrong. Okay, now we're going to use properties of equality with segments. We used it with angles, and we're going to use it with segments. So I know that A, B, and CD are equal. Show that AC and BD are equal. Well, the first thing is, this is in the diagram. So it's given. Just like before, I see that I have two segments, AB plus BC equals AC. I'm adding segments together. I have adjacent segments, just like we had adjacent angles. So this is segment addition. What am I doing in the second one? Same thing. Okay? So save room, I'm just going to write. Just leave it there. So that would be written in the same line. Now what am I doing? From the prior step, I'm adding the same thing to both sides. From this step up here, I'm adding BC to both sides. This is addition property. And then what's happening? I'm replacing, right? Replacing with AC. So this is substitution. Okay, go ahead and do the guided practice, which is just naming the properties, the statements illustrated. Pause the video, and then come back and just check your answers, and we'll close out the lesson. If, then, and we have angles, so this is symmetric property, and to be specific, angles quality. The next one, since it's an if and then, it's really all you do. If and then, it's transitive property. Segment quality, and equal each other is reflexive property. How do you solve an equation? Solve an equation by applying the properties of algebra. to justify the reason for each step. Again, you may want to print out those theorems and postulates for the first 2 chapters, which are posted on Schoology. If you have trouble finding it, just let me know, and I will guide you in the right direction.